Hello, Suns fans. This is Suns Latest. I am Rich Rubin. Happy Halloween. Tonight I am going as a Suns championship banner hanging in Mortgage Matchup Center. That is my costume, and that is my wish for all of us. It's not going to happen this year. Let's just be big boy Suns fans, and let's just understand that it is going to be a minute. Do not use the word process. I'm over it. As of this recording, 842 Suns subscribers to Suns Latest on fan art. So thank you for subscribing. Excuse me. Thank you for subscribing. Remember, being a subscriber is better than just being a sub. All right, so I got a quote, and we're going to get to it. Suns play the Jazz tonight, but the quote is something not only from a legendary, well-known football coach, but from my high school football coach, Coach Dave Schwerdfager from the Washington High Rams. I have the distinction of quite possibly being the worst high school football player in Arizona sports history, and I would have it if I could have gotten into a few games. But the quote is, "Winning isn't everything, but wanting to win is." Vince Lombardi, legendary coach of the Packers. We've all heard that quote. At this point, it kind of goes in one ear and out the other, but think about it. Think about the teams that you really love. Think about the 76 Suns. Not the best team out there. Barely made the playoffs. Barely were 500. But they seem to want it more than anybody else. This is a big reason why I love Paul Westphal. Skills and all-star level talent and being ambidextrous notwithstanding, Westphal wanted it. Westphal seemed to want it more than a lot of other players. Walter Davis was another one of those guys. Played with enthusiasm. He looked like he was having the best time. He looked like he was playing on a playground. He just happened to be a top 10 player. So I always think about that quote. And Swerdfager, Coach Swerdfager from the Washington High Rams, not only said that quote, but he also reminded us that when he played high school football, wasn't the biggest, wasn't the strongest, wasn't the best, but he said, never once did I leave the field thinking that whoever I was blocking, whoever I was trying to knock down, was tougher than me. And that stuck with me a lot. And that really is something to think about when you're doing anything. Did you get beat? That's fine. It's going to happen. Were you out toughed? Were you out hustled? That's something you may have control over. So great quote from a legendary coach, Vince Lombardi, and legendary coach, and rest in peace, Coach Dave Swerdfager of the Washington High Rams. All right, here's some NBA news. Just a little bit of it, but these are kind of things that, you can't help but ignore. So when I talk about around the NBA stuff, this is what I'll come up with. Laker Austin Reeves scored 28, had 16 assists, and had a game-winning floater to beat the Timberwolves last night. Since Luka and LeBron are both out, the offense shifted to Reeves, who responded with a career-high 51, along with 11 rebounds and 9 assists in a win over the Kings on Sunday. A 51-point, pretty much triple-double in a win, then 41 points against Portland on Monday. And I have to call it like it is. DeAndre Ayton has had a couple of good games, within the 20-point, 16-point, 10 rebound, 11 rebound realm. Don't count on it to last very long, especially when Luka and LeBron get back. But hey, the Lakers are they're doing better than we thought they would without their two big stars. Hornets point guard LaMelo Ball fined $35,000 for flipping off the refs in a loss to the Miami Heat on Tuesday. He didn't agree with a call against him. Yeah, $35,000 is really going to hurt his pocket, but he's fun and he's flashy and interesting to watch. But he falls into that category for me anyway of an empty all-star, kind of like Beal. They're going to get you stats. They're going to score. They're going to do all these things that, that's a great player, but it doesn't translate into anything. Win or lose, they're not moving the needle, and that's fine. Basketball's entertainment at the end of the day, but I don't think there's a lot more to him. I don't know. I don't know how coachable he is either. He takes some bizarre shots. Last year, after a great debut for the Mavs, Anthony Davis got sidelined for 6 weeks with an abdominal strain. Remember, his first game in Utah, he was all-world. He had like a triple-double. This Wednesday, he left the game in the first quarter against the Pacers with lower left leg soreness, and the Mavs ruled him out at halftime of a 107-105 win. There's a lot of rumors that the Mavs are in a lot bigger trouble than we think they are. Kyrie, even when he comes back, he's Kyrie, and Kyrie's unpredictable as great as he is. He's older. They're not even talking about Klay Thompson. They still aren't talking about him. I don't even know if he's playing. Is he still injured? And they're not playing D'Angelo Russell. They put number 1 overall draft pick Cooper Flagg at point guard. So Coach Jason Kidd is up against it, but the Mavs are in trouble. The Rockets applied for a disabled player's exemption for injured point guard Fred VanVleet, would allow them to receive a $12.5 million salary exemption, which is half of Fleet's $25 million salary for the season, if and when they decide to sign a point guard. The Rockets are 2-2, but no true point guard for that kind of team. With all those scorers, they need a facilitator. They need a guy who can get them the ball. It's going to wear on them. And the Rockets, I'm not going to say they're in trouble. The Rockets are still a formidable team, and they'll beat most teams. But remember, it's the first week of the season. It doesn't mean anything. But that's going to wear on them as the season goes on if they don't get a legit point guard for the kind of team they have. Same for the Suns, and that is why I want to see Colin Gillespie start. And so let's talk about the game tonight against the Utah Jazz. So we host them tonight, 7 p.m. Mortgage Matchup Center. We lost to the Jazz after Markkanen had a career-high 51 against us in Utah a few days ago. We gutted it out. We battled. It was an overtime loss. We had it. We keep getting ourselves in these holes. We keep digging ourselves out. And that usually translates into we're kind of tired by the last 2 minutes. And it's not just a physical thing. Just mentally, you're tired of just doing the same thing for 40 minutes. So the Suns need to stop getting themselves into holes. We've talked about this in the comments. A lot of you have mentioned it. I would like to see more Rasheer Fleming and Man and less Oso and Nigel Hayes-Davis. Now, this is where I'm going to go back on my, well, hey, it's early in the season and it's only been 5 games. Nigel Hayes-Davis looks so lost. And Oso putting in the effort. I don't know why they're making him start at center. They stopped finally, and Mark Williams got the start, and look what happened. All of a sudden, the Suns have a legitimate starting center, and we're going to talk about that more. But I don't see Oso rising to the occasion. I mentioned that on yesterday's Suns latest. And I don't see Nigel Hayes-Davis. Is it a stage fright thing with him? He's got all these tools. He's got all this knowledge. He's so chill, and he just fills up some minutes. There's no stats on this guy. It's really odd. But the couple of times I've seen Man play, it's not any worse. And he's got a lot of defensive talent. At the very least, get him in there. The offense runs through Book and Mark Williams. Slowly but surely, we're seeing what kind of team we got. If those two are healthy and those two don't have to share the entire offensive load, we'll have a 1-2 punch again. And that'll be pretty cool. But I do want us to start calling Gillespie. He improves every single minute he gets on the court. Green and Brooks still out with injuries as of this recording. All right, so that's what we got. I think we can bounce back. I think we are just as competitive as the Jazz are. So I have no problem thinking that, and we match up well with them. And we almost got them in Utah. And as great as Markkanen is, I think we got just as much to beat them. So I think the Suns might be bouncing back. I think they're figuring stuff out. But Mark Williams in the middle as a starter, that is going to make a huge difference for us. All right, let's get to your comments. Michael J. I thought Royce and Williams played great against the Grizzlies. Fun to watch. Heartbreak Hotel, unfortunately, almost a Shazam. Yeah, they did. It's a good indication of what to expect moving forward. Mendeville Jr. making bad decisions with the ball, taking bad shots, no rebounding. Good work, Suns. They should bring back training camps. Oh, you're being sarcastic. All right, okay, yeah. Well, they did training camp. It's the 5th game of the season with a new coach and almost an entirely new team, and they battle every game. I'll take this team over last year's. Lighten up, buddy. Number 1 Suns fan, Booker is in a weird place right now because he looks like he is lacking intensity. But when he does push hard, he stumbles and fumbles. He's freaking exhausted. He's carrying the entire offensive load. It finally shifted. And yeah, he had some tough moments at the end of the game. He's always been like that. And he'll stop doing that as the season progresses. And once again, we got Mark Williams getting 20 and 10. If he stays healthy, you watch Booker start exploding even more. Right now, the whole offense is Book. We got nobody else to help him, and Brooks is out, and we don't have Jalen Green yet. There's a whole lot of offense that we don't have at our disposal yet. So it's all falling on Book. He's going to get tired. He's going to make a mistake or two. Back off. Paco Lopez. Everyone keeps saying we are developing our guys. Who? Developing Liver and Hayes-Davis with Richards and Oso? We need to play Fleming and give Malawach some run. Bring in Kobe too. It's a really good point. I said that a while ago. I don't know about Liver. Liver's, he's not a project. But there's a lot of potential there. I completely agree with you about Hayes-Davis and Oso. I want Nick Richards to get in the games. Now, remember, he is as you need him. That's the kind of player, that's the kind of center he is. As long as he's spelling Mark Williams and not ruining our offense by getting good rebounds and playing defense, I'm fine with Nick Richards. And Nick Richards understands that about himself. He is a backup, and that's that. But I think I'm over Oso, and I was so high on him during summer league and preseason. As I said, it might be the stage. He just might not be that guy. You never know. Kobe Brea. He needs to cut back and forth between the G League and the Suns. There's so much talent there. He's not ready. We saw it when he got opportunities, and it's like he's not ready for the stage yet. He'll get there. He really can shoot. Yeah, but I want to see Fleming and Man on the floor a whole lot more. Dagoon are newsflash, Suns fans. We are a 500 to sub 500 team. We are going to be like this all season. If we gel and parts start to click, we are a play-in team at best. Don't get too stressed. Try to enjoy the ride. Maybe they surprise us. Yep, I'm not gonna argue with that. That's kind of where we're at, and we shall see. And then I'm a broken record, so I'm not gonna even talk more about that. That's a pretty good sum up of what we got in the first week of the season. It's just the first week, and we're not at full strength. Be cool about this. All right, Legend of the Day, Hustler Edition. This was thought of by Nevetsov, Sunscriber, and this Hustler picked by new Sunscriber, Anonymous Rex, and Washington High School. I'm sorry, your mom was a Washington High School graduate. But this is your pick. So here we go. Born in Columbia, South Carolina, a 6'6", 210-pound small forward out of DePaul University in Chicago. Ty Corbin, Mr. Tyrone Corbin, only played one season with the Suns. For some reason, I thought he played more with us, but he was a huge part of a trade that changed everything, and he was much more than a throw-in to everybody's delight. Ty Corbin came to Phoenix and Cleveland, from Cleveland in '88, along with KJ Mark West, a first and a second for Larry Nance, Mike Sanders, and a first for another year. KJ and Mark West helped establish the Suns as a consistent winner in the West, but the unheralded Ty Corbin did a lot of the dirty work, and he did it quietly, and he did it humbly. And that kind of sums up his entire career. He guarded the opposition's best perimeter player. Ty Corbin, at 6'6", 210, was strong enough to guard power forwards, quick enough to guard small forwards, strong enough and quick enough to guard either guard position. And sometimes they put him at shooting guard, even though he really was built to be a small forward. He was tough. He was versatile. He was one of the best offensive rebounders in the league, just an absolute battler, and always giving up height and always busting guys bigger than him. He was really, really tough with that. He understood ball trajectory. He understood box out. He understood the whole concept of rebounding, and he absolutely smothered guys on box out who were a lot heavier and a lot taller than him. Positioning was so key to his game. Watch some Ty Corbin in the paint, getting offensive rebounds and going back up or passing it out. He was a master at that, and coaches recognized that. He was really good for us. Skills that help you become a good coach after your playing days are over. He was a remarkable rebounder for 6'6". Another Suns player who, despite locking up his opponents game after game consistently, never made an all-defensive team. He's in the realm of Sean Marion, like what, fourth in defensive player of the year voting, and didn't make defensive teams, one or two. It's ridiculous. Ronnie Lee, Grant Hill, Mark West, Ted McClain, all these guys who played on the Suns were locked down, caring on a manager, nerd on a Rubik's Cube defenders, and they just did not get all defensive team selections, and it was a bunch of crap. 30 work hard hat player who, like so many gritty hustlers, made the most out of their hard work. Ty Corbin, because of this work ethic, played 15 seasons, 9 teams, played twice for the Hawks and twice for the Cavs. He never played more than 3 seasons with a single team. I'm wondering if that's an NBA record. Look that one up. The Suns lost him in the expansion draft to the Timberwolves in '89. He led the Timberwolves in rebounds and steals in their first year in the league. Retired in '01 with his sights set on coaching. Becomes manager of player development, just like Suns coach Ott when he was in Cleveland. Manager of player development in '03. I think that was with the Sixers. In '04, he becomes a Jazz assistant, spends 7 years under Jerry Sloan working with the Jazz. Succeeds Coach Sloan in 2011 and was the Jazz coach until 2014, head coach, and did an excellent job. Next, he becomes an assistant for the Kings, becomes their interim head coach, returns to Phoenix in 2016 as an assistant for new Suns coach Earl Watson. Earl Watson was on the Jazz, and Earl Watson had played under Ty Corbin when Ty was head coach for the Jazz. 2 years back with us. Last year, he was an assistant with Charlotte, and it says he's still there, but I didn't see him on 3 different rosters, and the coaching staff. So I kind of don't know where Ty Corbin is right now. He may have retired. It's been a good long run. Quiet, humble guy, kind of work ethic, and heart every coach wants, tough and gritty as they come. Tyrone Corbin out of South Carolina is your Suns Legend of the Day Hustler Edition. I appreciate you watching. Suns are against the Jazz tonight at Mortgage Matchup Center at 7 p.m. I had one more thing to say. Oh, yeah. Happy Halloween. We'll catch you on Monday.